Hi everyone, so this video is going to be about how to shop for makeup. Now I know that this kind of sounds a little bit stupid and a little bit like it's a given anyway, but it isn't, and I get questions a lot of the time from people asking me, how's the best way to shop for makeup, and what if I get intimidated by shopping at counters and all that kind of thing. So I'm just going to share with you my kind of top tips and that kind of thing when it comes to shopping for makeup. Now the first thing I want to touch on is counter or kind of counter makeup or drugstore makeup. Now I'm saying drugstore, in the UK it's high street, but we all know that on YouTube the universal term for it is basically drugstore makeup. So when it comes to shopping for makeup, you need to kind of know that you've got both of those options out there. The benefits of buying counter makeup are they tend to have staff on them that are kind of well trained in what they do. They'll be able to recommend things for your skin tone, recommend products that you might like. The disadvantage to that is a lot of the time they work on commission, which means they can be quite kind of sale obsessed and quite pushy, and I know that puts a lot of people off. Then when you buy drugstore products, I know it's a little bit different in the States, because in the States you can return things. In the UK you can't return things that you've bought. If you've bought a foundation from, let's say, Bourjois, and you want to take it back, you can't. You've got to just keep with it. And I know that that can be a little bit of a pain sometimes, because there aren't always great mirrors in stands of drugstore brands, A. B, there aren't staff to help you most of the time. Some counters do have, like larger Boots, they'll have max factor counter staff and that kind of thing, but they don't tend to be particularly on every counter, so you have to kind of fend for yourself. But obviously counter makeup is a little bit more expensive than buying drugstore makeup, so you want to kind of make sure that you know what you're looking for and you know where you want to shop. So bear those two things in mind, and obviously that will bring me to my next subject, which is budget. One of the most important things you can do when you're shopping for makeup is set a budget. Now I know that it kind of sounds a little bit stupid, because everybody knows how much money they have and that kind of thing, but makeup is expensive. Let's not dance around the subject. It can be expensive. Even if you're buying drugstore products, a foundation from Bourjois, for example, can set you back a good £10, and that is money. To some people that's nothing, to some people that's quite a lot of money, so you want to bear that in mind. You want to make sure that you're kind of within budget. Now I know some people go shopping for makeup and they kind of want to buy everything, and they kind of sort out their makeup bag for the next few months and that kind of thing. And a while ago I went shopping for a birthday present for a friend, well, for a friend's girlfriend, and we picked a whole new set of makeup for her. He paid for it, I picked it all. So some people like to shop that way, and other people like to just, they've run out of their concealer or they've run out of their foundation and they want to try something new. So set a good budget. Whether if you want to buy some kind of new exciting foundation, or you want to try something different, set a budget. Know exactly how much you want to spend, because you can be looking sort of at lipsticks and things like that, and you'll end up picking up a couple and you'll just end up overspending. And it is important to buy things that you will use. Don't buy products just because they look pretty and that you're not going to use them. I know it's so difficult to do that, and we're all guilty of that, me especially, of buying products just because they look nice instead of really making sure that they're the right kind of product for me. Next, we have know what you want and review it. Now obviously not you review it, but read reviews about the products you want to buy. So say for example you're shopping for a foundation. I'm using foundation as an example because I think that is one of the trickier things to buy. So you want to just kind of look around, read online. It's a great source of information. Read a little bit about the different ones that are out there. You can go onto Boots websites or Space MK website and that kind of thing, or the brand's website if you know that there's something that you're particularly interested in. And I think YouTube videos are great for that as well, because they can kind of introduce you to products that you might not have been aware of before. So you can kind of shop around, listen to reviews. There's great sources of information online, like Makeup Alley for example, which is kind of a review community. I'll link it in the description box for those of you who don't know what it is, but I'm sure if you're watching kind of beauty related videos you'll know what Makeup Alley is. But read reviews, and that way you can kind of get a good gist. For example, if you're interested in buying a foundation and you've got very dry skin, like Revlon Colour Stay, and you read all the reviews and they say that it's not great for dry skin, then that can kind of be a good indication and help you decide whether or not it'll be the right product for you. Next, we have, this kind of touches more if you're shopping on a counter as opposed to at the drugstore, but it's listen to the help that is offered, because a lot of the time counter staff really do know what they're talking about. They tend to be very passionate about products and passionate about what they do, and they will be able to help you, and they'll be able to match you, for example, again, foundation. They'll be able to get you the right colour, and if you can kind of explain to them your concerns, so say for example your skin's very oily or your skin's very sensitive, they'll be able to kind of help you because they know more about the inside of the product. That being said, don't let them pressure you into buying things that are not right for you, and really make sure that you know what they're doing, because for example, I bought this foundation by Estee Lauder. It's the Estee Lauder Double Wear Light foundation. I've got a review on this which I'll link in the description box for those of you who want to have a look at it, but it's really not my ideal foundation. But I was colour matched with this foundation. I was in a hurry and I just kind of listened to what the sales girl said, and I said, yeah, I'll have that one then. And I didn't look, and she gave me a colour that was a little bit too dark for me. It is so dark that in fact today I'm wearing that colour as a contour. I've just put my normal foundation on and a little bit of that buffed into the hollows of my cheeks just to contour with, because it's that dark. Now I'm not going to use this as foundation unless I go about 6 shades darker and uber brown, which, let's face it, in this kind of weather I don't think is going to happen. So you want to really make sure that you're not pushed into buying things, and I know that can be really hard, especially when you're just looking and they're like, can I help you? Have you seen what we've got here today? You've just got to kind of be quite assertive and just say, no thanks, I'm just looking. But if you do want something, use their information, use their knowledge, but just really try hard to not be pressured into purchasing things, because I know it can be really, really confusing and just really kind of off-putting, and it'll make you not want to go back. The next thing is to invest in key pieces. Now this kind of sounds like wardrobe talk, but I think it applies to makeup as well. And when I say key pieces, I mean things like brushes, for example. A good brush will make all the difference to the application of your makeup. This is the Real Techniques buffing brush, which again I've got a review about, so I'll link that in the description box. And this is the Blush Professional Brushes bronzing brush, which I will link you in the description box as well if you want to go and have a look at that. But brushes are a really, really essential thing in purchasing makeup. I think brushes really do make all the difference, and you want to buy nice quality brushes so you can save on products like lipstick, for example. You know, you can buy really lovely lipsticks. This one right here is Belle by number 17. It looks like this. You can buy cheaper lipsticks because it's just an easy thing, but spending that little bit extra money on things like brushes, and a little bit of extra money in my opinion as well on things like foundation. This is NARS Sheer Glow, absolutely amazing foundation, but if you've got a great base and you've got great tools, then the rest of your makeup is much easier to apply and much more kind of elegant looking, in my opinion. I think if you've got the base right, then the rest of it you can kind of play with. So really make sure that you invest in quality pieces, and again I can't recommend the Real Techniques brushes enough. I love them. Then last but not least, it's about testing before you buy. Now, like I said, in the US you're very lucky because you can buy products and return them if you don't like them. We don't have that luxury here. So you really, really want to make sure that you've bought products in the right formula for your skin and the right shade. So if you're buying foundation, for example, make sure you go barefaced. And I know that can be a little bit daunting to go barefaced in public, but make sure that you've kind of got as little makeup as possible. And I always find that if I match my foundation to my neck, that tends to be kind of a very close match to what my face is, because my body is obviously darker than my face. So that's one thing as well. And always make sure to kind of apply a little bit on the side of your face and then just walk outside in some natural light, because the lighting in department stores and drugstores is just appalling most of the time. It's that really bright bright fluorescent lighting, and it just kind of doesn't show everything properly. So make sure that you go and have a look at it in natural lighting. You can kind of feel the texture of it, and you know, don't just purchase it straight away. Go home, have a little feel of it and that kind of thing. And if you're shopping at a counter as well, a really great thing is that you can ask for a sample. Go get matched for a foundation and ask for a sample of it. Go home, test it out, see how it feels on your skin, see if you feel like it's kind of the right texture and the right finish and the right coverage, and then go back and repurchase it, because there's nothing worse than a product that you're not going to use, like this one for example. It's just so depressing and so wasteful, and I can't stand wasting things. So really make sure that you know what you're buying and that you're absolutely sure about the purchase, and that will save you a lot of heartbreak and a lot of money as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions or anything like that, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments below. And if you want to share any tips that you've got about shopping for makeup, then definitely do so. I think I've kind of mastered it down to a fine art at this point, buying so much, but I still do make mistakes, and I'll still sometimes get the wrong colour foundation and have to go back and get the different, a lighter colour. Mine tends to be, I always get it too dark. I think I'm kind of, in my head, I'm this gorgeous bronze glamazon, and then in reality I'm a little bit paler. But if you've got any input that you'd like to kind of put in the comments below and anything like that, then definitely let us all know. And I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.